everyone. Welcome to the Spiritual Insight Show. I am Reverend Tiffany White, Sage Woman. This show is brought to you by TruePsychicsNetwork.com. Welcome everyone watching live on TPN TV. And even if you are watching this in archives, I welcome you and thank you so much. However you're watching it via archives. It could be on the True Psychics Network YouTube channel. It could be on my YouTube channel. My personal YouTube channel is Goldylocks Temple of Healing. And so you could check that out. Or I think you can find it too by just putting Tiffany White. So, and also too, then on the True Psychics Network channel on Ustream, which is how you're watching this live now, probably. Because there's several ways you can watch this live as well. Through TPN TV on the True Psychics Network website or via the TPN channel on Ustream. So, thank you. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And I'm very grateful for everyone taking time to watch this show. Just to watch it and to feel it. It's to send out healing in all directions for everyone, too. So, just know that. That's the intention, absolutely, with every show, is for healing as well. Gives you something to do, mind, body, and soul. Your mind will listen, right? Your soul, hopefully, and your body will feel the good vibrations that sent your way. All right, so let's take a deep breath here. Let's take a couple deep breaths. Shall we do that? Let's just... Yeah. And I feel good. Let's take a couple more. Deep breath in. In, deep, deep in from your gut. Release. Another deep breath in. Release. So how's everybody's energy lately? How is everybody's energy? Hopefully right now you feel really good. But it's do you feel like you're on an emotional roller coaster sometimes? The energies. I woke up this morning and always, before you go to bed, it's a gratitude and being very grateful. Have your little prayers or your mantras that you want to say before you go to bed. And the same thing when you wake up. And I always like to start the day off with some gratitude, even if you wake up and maybe you feel a little stuffy, this is the time of the year where the temperature's going to start to yo-yo. Maybe you wake up with a stiff neck, or you wake up a little stuffy with sinuses. Okay, I'm paying attention to how my body's feeling, but you know what? I'm still going to be grateful for this fresh new day. Grateful for any of the experiences and opportunities that is going to be available and open for me this particular day. So it's always good to start the day off that way. And okay, yes, I do pay attention to what's going on. Maybe you need to drink a little bit more water. I know people say, oh, that's just so cliche. Everyone says drink water. But let me tell you, those that have sinus issues, do you know you're dehydrated? And the first place your body pulls water from is your sinus area, all up in here. Sometimes it'll take me drinking 2 to 3 glasses of water in the morning before I finally feel the pressure ease up, before I am rehydrated back in my sinus area. All right, so try that. Keep that in mind. I'm not saying you have to chug it, because I don't want you to end up, come right back out. But just try that, guaranteed. And I always like to keep a glass of water or bottled water. When I say bottled water, it's actually just a container that I have that I refill. But I like to have a top on it because of the dogs, in case they hit the table and it topples over. So I have the little steel drinking cups that have the twist tops on them, or some tops on them. So they're to-go bottles, so to speak. So I'll keep some water by my bed at night. And sometimes if I wake up in the middle of the night, I'll feel thirsty. I'll take a sip. But when you first wake up, you should try to drink at least 1 glass of water immediately, before coffee, before anything else. And I'm a big coffee drinker in the morning. And so, but I make sure I have water first for the coffee. All right, well, so that must have needed to hear that, because that's just went off on that. Okay, there you go. So, like women, just okay, just go with the flow with this show is what it's all about. Uh, so when I was asking about how the energies are today, I went outside, as I do it in the morning. Part of my rituals, because I have dogs, so we go out in the morning time, and it's okay, so they could upset you by doing something that upsets you, or being stupid, or whatever. They're animals or dogs. You just gotta let them be sometimes. But if they run in an area they're not allowed, whatever. So it's like it's running outside and just I think we've established this connection now where they'll just look at me, and it's not so much the female dogs. It's my male pup who's 1 year old. He's still pushing his limits. He's still seeing what he can get away with. But now we've got it down to, I don't have to say no anymore. He'll just look at me and I'm like, I'll have this look on my face, and he knows, and he stops. So then it's like, shh, now be quiet, because I'm going to set the intention, or I'm going to go ahead and put some healing out in all directions, not just for everyone, but for myself as well. So immediately I'm going outside, I'm saying good morning to the birds, to nature, to all the nature spirits, to God, to the universe, to Creator, whoever you want to call, what name you have, what energy you have for this divine Creator. Put it out there for everyone. And the response, I know I've said this before in some other shows, nature responds when you do that. You'll hear the birds sing, you'll hear something. With me, when I do that, crows immediately, move in. And there was a community of crows this morning that came and was rather chatty. And they helped me, because I'm like, why am I irritable this morning? I went to bed fine. I thought I woke up fine, and now I find I've got some agitation. Where am I feeling this from? I look in the sky, look up in the sky, and I see chemtrails. I'm like, oh, really? Okay. There's not that many, but there was some up there. And I was like, all right. So I know, there's toxins all around us. As long as we're on this earth plane, there's going to be some sort of toxins, right? And don't take our bodies for granted. Our bodies are tough and have mutated and have over the generations gotten stronger and tougher and to adapt with its environment. That's what our bodies do. Do you know that? They adapt with this time and with the changes. So I was like, all right, I know what to do now. So I just put my hands up, since I'm healing up to the chemtrails, and just was like, all right, let this energy balance out. Whatever any type of energy. Can't get rid of what's already been done, but you can add to it to add some balance. That's what healing's all about, is balance. Healing occurs when there's balance. Okay? So, and I'm not controlling or manipulating any energies that's sent up there. I'm just being that conduit and just sending of love, opening up and just sending it up there. Just sending it. And because the energy knows what to do. Absolutely, that divine healing energy knows exactly what to do. So we don't need to get in the way with it by this. Okay, I want you to do this. Shh, it already knows. We're just directing it in the area and letting it do its thing. So I did that and took some deep breaths. I'm like, okay. And then the crows kept talking, and I was just, I was like, oh, it's. We've had some 40-degree days. It's beautiful. The snow's melting. I'm like, now it's time. I look at my, because I keep my pine reefs, and I have a reef on the side door. I had a little a pine arrangement at the front door, and then a pine ball, one of those hanging balls, really cute, hanging from the back. So I took down all those pine things today because they were done. You could tell once the temperatures get a little warmer and being in the sun, and then it's so like I said, starting to get nice. They get dried out. So they started to dry out. So I just was piddling around going, oh, spring is right around the corner. This is great. And I still know to be quiet and watch that mind chatter, because I could very easily go off with, oh, excited, spring, what's the plan for the garden, what's the plan for this, for the yard, and shh, crows are still talking, they were still sending me messages. I had to tune in, stay tuned in. What else is going on? They're like, well, this little nipping of agitation, you know, why are you agitated? You really need to get to the source of this agitation. And I did, and it was something that happened yesterday. And I thought, well, I thought I took care of that, but I guess I didn't. And it was something that I harbored a little. I got upset over something, and I expressed it, but I guess not enough. And I still was holding on, nipping on it. And sometimes we do that. You know, even though we vent, and this is where we have to be careful. Venting is good if you release. Vent means release, right? So we release anything that okay, we're releasing it and letting it go. Sometimes the release, though, takes several times. All right, you just want to make sure, though, that the venting doesn't turn to complaining. Because complaining, what happens when one complains, they start to become complacent with their situation, with their complaining, and they're stuck. Then they start to get stuck instead of really dealing with it. So there's a difference between complaining and venting. All right, just make sure your venting doesn't turn into complaining. So I had to sit with it and think a little bit more and realize it's like, okay, yes, there are challenges still every day. This, no matter how much we have these transitions, we have these enlightenment moments, we are working toward that illumination. As long as we're on this earth plane, it's the constant goal and achievement process. It's not something that you get to when I have arrived. No, not yet. Not here. You can get to that arrival of I'm comfortable with this process. All right, but like that final enlightenment stage that everyone is working forward to, it is a progress. It's a work in progress, and many of us reach that, and then we're not too much longer on this life plane, on this earth plane before we cross over. Or some people have reached that enlightenment phase, and maybe they have to stay for just a couple more years longer to help. And usually they're not the ones that's going to sit there and talk about how enlightened they are. They're going to be very quiet and hold the energies in the background for us. So it's very beautiful. Sometimes we don't even know where they are. We can feel them, and then you can feel where they are. But it's they're never the people that are doing these holistic tours. And I'm not saying that those that do aren't, because we all have our own mission. We all have our own soul's progress, so to speak. Okay, we all have a job to do. Don't compare with each other, and let's just keep doing that. And because we're all here to help one another as well. All right, isn't that beautiful? Let's help one another. This is what we're here for. The more you give, the more you receive. And don't give just to receive, because, you can't fool that energy. It knows what you're doing. All right, so, wow, that was quite an opening this today. So I usually like to start off too with the numerology, the number of the day. Excuse me. So for those of you who are familiar with the numerology, you know what I'm going to do. You know what I'm going to say. You know the process. For those of you, though, who may not, I'm going to take the time and just explain that numerology takes numbers down to a single digit. You keep adding the numbers down until you get a single digit between 1 and 9. So what is the numerology? The energy for today, which is March 10th, 2015. We know March is the number 3 month. The day is 10th, but it's actually a number 1 vibration, because 1 plus 0 is 1. All right. 2015 is an 8 vibration year. This is a very fantastic year. Many people. This is where we're going to see, and we already have seen some people cross over, whether they're celebrities or not. There's going to be more of that who are done. All right. And then more people spiritually involved. The best analogy is the lotus is opening. Everyone, the whole spiritual as a whole, we are really opening up and developing. And this year, we're going to see evidence of it. All right, it's not just a I feel it, I know it. We're actually going to be able to see it, make it in the physical this year. All right, so I got sidetracked there. All right, so 2015. How do we get 8 out of 2015? 2 plus 0 is 2. 2 plus 1 is 3, and 3 plus 5 is 8. So that's what gives the 8 vibration for 2015. All right, so then we add the whole date up. March, which is 3. Remember the 10th. 1 plus 0 is 1, the date. 3 plus 1 plus the year, which is 8. You add all that up, and it's 12. We still have to get that to a single digit, so we're going to add it again. 1 plus 2 is 3. So today is that beautiful number 3 vibration day. So what energies are available that we could tap into today? All right, this is a great day to socialize, have fun, and party together with family and with friends and your loved ones. You might feel as if change is taking place within, but not yet sure or very clear about its true meaning. Just go with the flow. Continue to go with the flow. Have a good, entertaining, and laid-back day. And your creativity is on a rise. When you're very relaxed and having fun, creative ideas pop up, don't they? This is the time to write down all these ideas. Get them organized. Because sometimes people get them, I know, like with me, sometimes these energies, the creativity comes in, and it's like these ideas coming in from all direction, and I have to sit down and write them all down, then prioritize them. Don't try to do everything all at once, because then you're not going to finish anything and you're just going to frustrate yourself. So by prioritizing them, what am I going to take care of first? And of course, asking your guides, all right, let's feel this. What do I need to do first? You don't even have to do the rest, like 1, 2, 3. Just what do I need to do first? Take care of that. Then go back to that list. Now, what do I need to take care of now? Because sometimes even if you do sit down and number it immediately, you may find you go back to that list and you're going to change the order anyway. So let's take it one step at a time. There's no need to make it so black and white with 1, 2, 3, 4. This is what we're going to do. Write them all down. And what am I going to do first? You don't have to always start with that top thing, the number one thing. Just read the list and go, let's take care of this. Let's do this now. All right, good. Because that's how the energy works. That's how it all works. We don't have to go from point A to point B, from number 1, to start number 1 on the list and work our way down. No, it's not like that. All right? And we make it harder for ourselves when we try to control those types of situations. Remember, command. And most definitely you can command, because you are at your divine birthright, to command. Of course, it has to come from a loving source, always. Otherwise, it's just control. All right. Speaking of numerology, Jane Lawton puts out, she actually gives these messages, these beautiful messages with numerology background every day. She has it every day posted on her personal blog, which is janealton.com. And also we share this on True Psychics Network magazine. Try to do it every day, but sometimes, like the weekends, doesn't get posted. So I apologize about that, but we'll get better with it. But do put her link too, so that you can go there, save it, and if you want to go there every day and check it out, then you can do that. But and again, these are suggestions of, these are the energies that are available today. Because sometimes you may read it and go, I don't feel like that today. Okay, understand though that these are the energies that are favorable for you today. Tap into it. Reach for it. It is so possible. All right. Now, and speaking about the True Psychics Network magazine, it does have a fresh new makeover. So I encourage you to check it out. I'm going to talk about the True Psychics Network website for a few moments. And you can get to the magazine from that website. Just click on the magazine tab. Then while you're on that website, check out horoscopes. Each week, a True Psychics Network member puts out horoscopes for the week. And this week, they were channeled by Reverend Sinlu and Graphia. So be sure to check out what energies are favorable for you today. Not just today, this whole week. It's Monday to Monday. That's weekly. Your numerology's daily. Your horoscopes are weekly. There we go. So, I had asked my guides for the topic for the show today. They actually came to me several days ago, but I wasn't sure about it. And I've learned, you just trust, you go with it. Don't try to control it, just go with it. So, I had asked and had heard, why don't you talk about why do bad things happen to good people? And then to validate that, I started getting some memories and some things to come up. And I know that was their way of communicating with me, talk about this. And I was like, oh, all right. So I've been thinking about it for several days, just lightly. All right. So I knew this morning, most definitely. Fine, this is what we will discuss today. But before we're getting into that, and it was actually kind of validated last night, Tanya had this most amazing special guest last night on her show. Tanya Terrell is the host of the Metaphysical Monday shows. It's Mondays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. She had Gene O'Neill as her special guest, and his story was absolutely fascinating and so beautiful because I understand I've always been able to communicate, maintain that communication with angels and the higher vibrational. And I have to tell you that some people can't, you cannot, because the energies are so, you can, I'm just saying though, that the master teacher's energies and angelic energy is so very close because it's a very high energy. And I have found that to be oh so true, especially like in healing sessions and they come in, oh, there's the angels. Now, oh wow, look at this master healer coming in. And it's and they have lights off of them like lasers that sometimes people, if they see ours with the angels, might confuse this with an angel. And I'm like, it's just such a high, beautiful vibration. But I was listening to the show, and he was telling me about how he's telling all of the listeners. It just felt like his 101. He's telling all the listeners about his wonderful experience and being involved in a car accident that he survived from and had a near-death, actually several near-death experiences in this whole process. And when he was talking about the angels and these master teachers, oh wow, the vibration from that, I was in tears listening because it was so beautiful. And I can relate and I understand that, and you can feel their love coming through him. And so grab some tissues if you want to listen to that show. That show is posted on the radio page of True Psychics Network. You go to the radio page, you scroll down to the bottom is where the archive shows are, and you keep scrolling down because it was just newly added, so it's on the very bottom. It's the newest show that's been added on there. So we do highlight some of the special guests that have been on True Psychics Network. So it's the last one. It's Tanya Terrell's Metaphysical Monday show with special guest Gene O'Neill, and he wrote a book, The Unpraised Chalice. So definitely check that out if you have time to listen to an hour radio show. Just note it, that you'll listen to it, and just how beautiful it is. But that also validated this whole topic for today, because you hear someone go through something like that, and you think the same thing. Well, here this man has come and has honored and been very respectful to his whole spiritual process. Why did he have to go through this? Very interesting. We'll get to that in a moment. First, let's do The crystal and gemstone message for the week. All right. The crystal and gemstone that appeared is Petersite. I hope I'm saying this correctly. Petersite. Petersite. It's Pietersite. Petersite. I can butcher a word, so I apologize. Petersite. Now, this is a stone of willpower and inner guidance. It activates insight and inner vision. Very beautiful. Very nice. Google that or put it in your search engine, whatever search engine you use. P-I-E-T as in Tom, E-R-S-I-T-E. It's almost like Peter, but it has an I. P-I-E like pie. Okay? So P-I-E-T-E-R-S-I-T-E. Look that gemstone and crystal up and see. Sometimes when you see what it looks like and you can feel the vibration off of that as well. But again, that is a stone of willpower and inner guidance, and it activates insight and inner vision. See if you get that if you check it out. And then also the power animal message for the week. Eagle. Eagle. Beautiful. Eagle is very special for me, and I'm sure it's special for everyone. But you have this one or two power animals that kind of resonates with you. And an eagle's always been very significant to me on my spiritual journey. The eagle represents swiftness, the illumination of spirit, great power and balance, initiation through intuitiveness and creativity, and the ability to see hidden spiritual paths. Isn't that beautiful? The ability to see hidden spiritual paths. Now, how many of you do you get that aha moment in nature, and you either see an eagle, you see a falcon, you see a hawk, most people that get this, they really get it when they see the eagle. They're like, when I was one with that eagle and flying with that eagle, I was over the forest, over the trees where I could see all the paths, and I discovered what direction I should be going. Sometimes there isn't a path, sometimes you're going to make your own path, but at least you get the direction that you need to go in. So very clear. Let's see the whole picture. Let's see the whole map. Let's see where I need to be. And so that's very powerful. Of when I feel, what's the next step? Where do I need to go? I'll sit and concentrate, or you want to say meditation. I sit and visualize the eagle and ask the eagle, show me. Okay, eagle, show me. Show me what I'm not seeing. Show me the path. And then open up and allow. Don't try to control and manipulate. Just let it be. And the eagle will show you. Works each and every time, and it gets stronger and stronger each time you do. Now, sometimes too, the all-seeing eye appears with the eagle. You can see an eagle eye, or you'll see its eye, and that's your third eye opening and connecting and becoming one with that eagle. Oh, so absolutely beautiful. So try that. Sit down and meditate with that eagle energy. All right. So for those of you who maybe haven't watched the shows, if you see smoke, it's I'm burning incense, so you'll see the occasional incense trail. So yes, let's burn some incense. So yeah, I'm gonna take another sip of some water here. My dogs are doing so well. There's people out there. There's actually a neighbor out there washing his car. But that's good. Let's get the snow stuff. Let's get all the salt off. Let's get and more people outside walking because it's beautiful outside. So they're doing very well. Good doggies. All right. So back to that topic. Why do bad things happen to good people? Most of us now understand and we get this and we can answer this. I'm sure many of you can answer this already, right? I want to share with you a situation that had happened when in my youth. Many of you know that I watched my mother allow cancer to activate in her body, go through the whole cancer process 3 times. All right. And, but it was, and then it's not that people lose their battle. She was done. Um, she was done. Her mission was done and she left. Um, and to watch someone you love struggle so much to try to find the answers as well. It just really does something to you, especially as a child. I always knew that I had these abilities when I was young, as long as I can remember. I always knew I was a healer, but trying to get that out and express that. And if I say, oh, well, I'm a healer, and they'll pat you on the head and go, oh, what a cute little kid. You mean a nurse? Oh, what's a nurse? Where do nurses work? In these office buildings with in a hospital. Hospitals terrified me because I saw them as portals. There was, now, this is most kids do see this, that see the energy. I still see energy. So when you see a coming and a going, constant, coming, going, constant, birth, death, oh, you don't know if this spirit walking down the hall, is anyone else seeing this? There's no veil. And it creates this anxiety because it's like, oh, did you see that lady? What? There's no one there. What are you talking about? Hospitals, I stayed away from them for a very long time until I could understand what was going on without feeling like, am I crazy? Am I seeing stuff that's not there because no one else can see it? Not until you get around other like-hearted people with the same abilities, and then you're like, phew, okay, good. And now also too, hospitals also can upset some other people because if in a past life you were put into mental institutes, that's absolutely a hospital. The whole idea of it is just going to make you very, very uncomfortable. All right, so back to my mom. I noticed I had said I watched her activate the cancer. Do you know we all have toxins around us? And I'm going to say it. Cancer is already in all of our bodies. Do you know there's healthy cancer? And there is the potential when we start to self-sabotage, when we start to not care anymore and really start to hurt, to hold all the hurt and pain in our bodies, we activate that. We activate what's laying dormant in our bodies. Now, when I saw my mom activate this, and it was all because of several things, actually. But the major thing was when her and my biological dad got divorced. And her whole idea of marriage was just crumbled. I don't say she lived in a fantasy land, but, she really did. As far as how marriage should be and this, that, and the other. And because, it should be a Disney movie and they live happily ever after. No, there's going to be challenges, and that's not bad, but just how to get through these challenges, okay? So, and then also, too, my mom was a generation when you're seeing her parents and her grandparents stay together thick and thin no matter what. And now in the 60s, you have this whole new generation that I'm independent, women are independent, we're just going to get divorced if it doesn't work out. So I never did get a clear answer between my mother and my biological dad about why the marriage dissolved, because there was a lot of anger and there was a lot of blaming and finger pointing. And then from my point of view as a child, was their communication was broken. They couldn't talk to each other. They talked at each other. I mean, very, very badly. And here's the thing too. My mother didn't know who she was identity-wise. My mother was adopted. And she had a hard time at a period of her life in her teens where she had a hard time dealing with that. And it wasn't until I saw her in her 30s, totally, she had an opportunity to finally meet her real family. And she said no. She finally surrendered to that. And she goes, you know what? I was chosen. I was selected by my parents who adopted me. And yes, my mom's parents were wonderful grandparents, wonderful parents. So who cares about the blood or the biologics of it, right? That whole, sometimes we get stuck on that. And she was sorry that she wasted time, and it can know that, present identity issues with you. And you don't have to be adopted to have these identity issues. Some people don't know who they are when they get married, and then issues arise as you're both trying to struggle. Who am I? Who are we together? And who am I individually? All right. So, again, and I saw my mother's cancer. It was like, so now, some people might think it's an entity following her, but it was her. It was darkness outside of her that followed her around like a shadow. It shadowed her. And I knew it was hers. And when I would make her laugh, and I always, because I was the oldest, so I was always trying to make her laugh, and then it kind of dissipated. There's holes in it. When she would laugh and have a good time and smile, this shadow went away. So I would always try to, but then there was just times when she just fell in her pit of darkness, and it would be days and weeks and watching this. And it got to be very stressful for me. This happened when I was between the age of 4 to 8 years old, because she got remarried when I was 8. So from 4 to 8, I witnessed a lot of what was going on with my mom. And I also knew that no matter how much you love somebody and you want to help somebody, it's up to them to take responsibility for their healing, to take responsibility for their life. And you can only help someone so much. They have to do the rest. You really do. So, when my mom first had cancer, it arrived as breast cancer for her, and she was in her 30s, which was very early at that time in age, in the 70s, for someone in her 30s to have that. So, I mean, she went through the whole thing, the removal of the breast, and then she even decided to go through the whole reconstructive surgery and building another one. And that, I couldn't understand that. I honestly would have these conversations with her. What are you doing? Because it was shortly after she got remarried. It's like a year later. So I was like 9 or 10 when she went through her first ordeal with cancer, when the cancer activated. And I could, so it was trying to be there and listen and be supportive. And then, so to go with her to the doctors and see the way she was treated, I wasn't allowed to go anymore because I would speak my mind. And these doctors didn't like that. So she wouldn't take me anymore. But the thing is that she pretty much reacted, I'm going to die. And with this whole ordeal, the first time. She started packing things up, marking them to my brother, to me, making little notes and sticking them for us for the future. The family was upset, of course. My dad had, my bonus dad now. My bonus dad, I call him bonus because he's a great bonus in my life. He has 4 kids from a first marriage. And so, we're all still trying to get to know each other during all this happened. And my bonus dad, I was waiting for him to leave at the first sight of any kind of a problem, because that's what I got used to with the men that came into my mom's life. in my mom's life. But you know what? He stayed. He stuck around. But I was like, Mom, you're freaking everyone out by packing up all this stuff. It's like you're giving up. I was like, it's not your time. I know it's not your time. The guides and angels are telling me it's not your time. And she'd get mad at me. Stop talking like that. But it's not your time. Don't give up. You know, and so she went through the whole process, treatment, and whatever. Chemotherapy, I have to tell you, her energy was worse than a cancer activating. Going through chemo and radiation. I thought most horrible thing ever. They're killing you with chemo. And again, I could only say so much for my mother before she was like, I can't. Would you please just stop talking? And I was like, well, I have to release it too because I see what's happening and it hurts. Why do we allow this to happen to ourselves? To not only get sick, but then to go through these barbaric conventional medicine methods, procedures. Listen to the words, procedures. It's a procedure. It's not a treatment. It's a procedure. What are they doing to help heal? Let's say that. Let's say cure, because cure is temporary. They know they can't heal with their techniques. That only we, mind, body, and soul, have the abilities to heal. All right, so anyway, my mom passed the 13-year mark after getting through all that. 13 years, cancer-free, which technically, do you know, they only say you're a survivor at 5 years. If you were to die at 5 years and 1 day, they still call you a survivor. Check it out. It's out there. You are classified as a survivor after 5 years. So she passed the 13-year mark, and then it came back underneath her arm. The lymph nodes there. Her nodes, yeah. And then several years later, it came back again, and it was in her bones, and that I knew. When she called me and told me on the phone, I dropped the phone because the guides and angels like, now it's time. You're going to have to be strong here for the rest of the family. And I was pregnant with the first baby, the first grandchild. And that was hard. So she crosses over now. She transitions. We're all trying to deal with it as a family. One of the things that absolutely horrified me, and it's funny the things that you remember, right? And we never remember the same thing when you talk about your family, when you talk with your family members or friends and you go through an ordeal together and you go back. And what horrified you may not horrify somebody else, and vice versa. And it's just interesting the way and how we all react and respond to a situation. So anyway, we had, I was helping my dad clear out some of the house. I was helping him. What do you need me to do with the house? What do you want me to pack up? What do you want to do? So I was helping him with some of the things, her clothes, my mom's clothes, and things like that. And so I was there helping him with that when someone from the church came by. Now, my bonus dad was more spiritual. He went to church for my mom because she wanted to go, and so he supported that. Even if he didn't agree with a lot of the things that were said and going on, he loved her so much. He just wanted her to be happy. So a friend came over and brought the book, and I don't know if this is verbatim, but why God allows bad things to happen to good people. That title horrified me. I was actually appalled and insulted. This is how I felt at that age. I was 24. I was insulted that she gave this book to us. And she left. And I'm looking at my dad going, can you believe this crap? Really? God didn't do this to Mom? And he goes, I know. And I'm like, why would anyone write a book even trying to explain? God didn't do this. And he was like, I know. He goes, why don't we just donate that? And he threw it off to the side. But it was just really cute the way that we had that moment. But Disney was like, you gotta let it go. Don't just. He goes, she meant well. Yeah, she did. She did mean well. But I'm like, there's people that actually blame God for this, and he goes, yes, that there are people who don't take responsibility. Yeah, yeah. So, because I never considered that. The whole ordeal with my mother, not once. I absolutely believed in God. I knew there was a divine source, this divine creator that the angels and master teachers talked about. Not once did I even consider blaming our divine creator. Never. This energy. Why? Because even in the Bible it says free will. I knew my mom chose. She allowed, gave permission to have that cancer activated. Now, inner cancer survivors watching, I'm not insulting you. The best thing we can do is to admit when we're making ourselves sick and what we can do to stop and change it. I've always known that I was not going to have cancer like my mom did. I did go through some medical scares. I did go through some other things though. And I got tired of being used as a pincushion based on my mom's history. And I said, no more. That's not what's going to happen to me. I'm good. All right. Because sometimes we get this premonition. We know how we're going to cross over. It's like, for me, it's my big mouth. Somebody's going to kill me. They're not going to be able to handle the truth very well. They're just going to kill me. No. I don't know. It's just funny. Got me through it. But I was like, I know with all my being, I'm not going to activate cancer like that. But when I did get to a dark part of my life, and it was because of me having to be strong, and I was pregnant with my first child when my mom crossed over, and me having to be strong for the whole family, me be careful with the baby, I had delayed grieving for my mom. And when it did hit me, it hit me hard. And on top of what other things were going on at that time too. And so I started to have some severe physical things going on that they, hospitalized. Oh, they talked about surgery, they talked about this, they talked about that. Everything from severe migraines, from severe migraines to having my gallbladder removed, to they wanted to do all these other types of surgeries, and then I stopped. I said, wait a minute. Wait, there was some sunlight that came down in that pit that I was in and illuminated that, wait a minute. Wait. I seen this happen before. I'm not going to go through this either. Stop. Stop it right now. And I'm taking back command over who I am and myself and my body. And it took a process to get myself off of all my meds, and it's not just doing that, because I don't recommend anyone just getting off your meds. I had a plan with it took the right doctor, because I found other doctors who said no. You can't fire your doctors, by the way, all right? And so I had to go through a lot of doctors before I found one that would agree to work with me harmoniously. Not challenge me, but work with me harmoniously. I said, I'm doing this. I'm getting off these meds. I'm stepping down, one with or without your help. You going to help me? Well, yeah, I'm going to help you. Okay, thank you. And it wasn't just doing that. I also was being very careful with my diet, what I was eating. I had to change now I was drinking coffee all day long, not hydrating myself. What does coffee do? It naturally dehydrates you, right? So, taking better care of myself and turning it around. So, I love my mom dearly. We had our challenges and we had our moments. Someone like that who crosses over, don't look at them as weak and oh, sick. This sickness took them over. They allowed it and permitted it, but at the same time, why did they allow it and permit it? To be a powerful teacher for the rest of the family. I consider my mom to be a most powerful teacher, what she went through, because I am where I am now because of my mother. Because I saw no one else should suffer like that. It's all about mind, body, and soul. And then being able to talk about finally my the ability. She couldn't handle the psychic medium stuff. But it's okay. Now she supports me. She is like my number one fan in the spirit world, or and she comes to me a lot and helps and is very supportive and very proud of me. And I'm proud of her because I felt she made the ultimate sacrifice for her family, for me, to encourage me with my path, and for the world, for everyone else. So, why did these bad things happen to good people? One, they allow it and permit it. Why do they allow it and permit it? It's not always a bad thing. Maybe it's part of their mission to be that powerful teacher. What you go through turns you back to the light. Alright? Yeah, you may hit the ground or you may fall in that pit, but you can't go any further, and when you get up, you're up. Right? Sure, you can keep falling back in, but there's only so many times you're going to let yourself do that anyway. So, and then we could ask that same thing with like I said last night, the show with Gene O'Neill. How did he get into this accident? Now, he also talks about, and I'm going to ruin it because I want you to be able to enjoy that show later, is that it was a head-on accident, and they both died briefly. He died briefly, and then had his near-death experience and came to. But in that moment that they both died, he knew this person's soul. He didn't know them in life, but he recognized them. Now, maybe that settled an old contract or an old something that they had to experience together from a past life. Maybe that settled that. That took care of it. For whatever reason, we don't have to understand a lot of times too. There's some things in life that we may not understand. But it's the lessons we learn from these experiences that strengthen us spiritually. All right? So we don't always have to understand. And that's something I think that, we create these blocks within ourselves because we're trying to understand and analyze and categorize everything. You don't have to do that. You don't at all. All right? Just go with it. Just let it go and understand that it will be revealed to you. The answers will be revealed to you just at the right moment. It always seems to come just at the right moment. So, whew. So, why don't we stop asking why bad things happen to good people? Because bad and good, that same oneness aspect. It's all part of the same thing. Same part of that whole yin and yang. It's part of the oneness. You can't have good without bad. You can't have bad without good. It's part of the whole one. And let's just stay balanced with it. And how are you going to view the situations that happen? Sure, I can view this as being a bad experience, but what's the good in it? Because it has both. So now, yeah, this hurt, but what was the good from that? Because right now all you're doing is looking at the bad part. Flip it over, look at it from a different way, go up with the eagle and look at it from a different way. What was the good? Now show me the good. You may think, okay, and I know in the news there's some horrific lately violence against children and babies and toddlers. Things that happen. And we ask, why did this happen to an innocent baby, to an innocent child? And do you know what a powerful, powerful soul that was to come in and agree to be here temporarily and then to cross over as a baby? But teacher, again, the teacher role. what did it teach the rest of the family? A child that leaves young, or even a parent that loses any child, what's the lessons? Maybe that child, that death, of course, you had to grieve. You're going through the grieving process, but didn't that child bring you back to the light? Did that child bring you to your knees to pray? Something yet done maybe in a long time? Did you get on your knees and pray? Did you ask God to help you? God, angels, guides, anyone, help me. And then you had to learn that in order to listen, there's a meditation, there's a stillness. So in a sense, it brought you back to the light. Powerful teacher, master teachers comes in all ages and sizes and shapes and forms. Let's look at the lesson in these things that happen. They don't just randomly happen for no reason. There's no coincidences. There's none of this randomness. All right? Because people say, oh, it's just a cause and effect type of world. Only if we choose to separate. When we choose to live in balance, we see everything at the same time, and we are wise enough not to step off that balance beam and go off in one direction and off in the other. Because then we're off balance. Oh, it's beautiful to stay in that good moment. You know, don't stay there so much that you can become disillusional to any bad. We have to recognize, honor, and love both aspects of this oneness. All right? And some people may see that with twins. With children, with siblings, with the good part, the bad part. Sometimes with twins that really happens. A lot of people say, well, this is a good twin, this is a bad twin. Why do you first off do that? Don't label them like that, because they hear it, they feel it, they sense it. And you don't want them to own that. You don't want them to become that. All right? And so it's just know that that's how they are feeding off of each other. All right? And it's very beautiful. We have to stop separating. We try to separate so much. There's not opposites. They're just two sides of the whole. Two parts of the whole. Because that wholeness, there's a middle part. There's that balance. Think of the scales. You know? You have the two scales, but you have that bar, and you have the center, the balance part. Stay balanced. All right? So let's start to something that happens. It's bad. What's the good in it? And if you don't know right away, that's okay. All right? But don't dwell in that badness either. So stay positive. And we'll see. Then here we go. Positive. Positive or negative. Positive or negative. Stay balanced. I like to say just balance. Balance. All right? Stay balanced in that balanced space. And we constantly do that. So those who are too positive become naive. They become blinded by the light. Go outside without sunglasses on. You literally are blinded, right? What do you need to be able to see in the sunlight? Bright, bright sunlight. Sunglasses, what are they called? Shades. Negativity lenses. They're dark. You need the darkness to see in the light. That's balance, right? Total darkness, you need a little bit of light to see. Balance. That's what I'm talking about there, people, is balance. Is, to see both. And yes, it can honor that. Okay, my mother crossed over when I was, she was young. She was young, I was young. So her mom crossed over. But I knew she had to do that. And it is helping me. It's helping everyone. What a great, powerful teacher she is. So I hope that helps everyone. And I also had a cousin, too, that crossed over when he was 15. He wasn't supposed to live past 5. And he did. And watched my uncle and my family go through all of that, too. Powerful teacher again. All right. So they're everywhere. Master teachers are all around us. What are we going to learn from these powerful beings? All right. And then what are we going to, we learn these lessons and then we pass on that love to others. All part of that constant giving and receiving. All right. I'd like to leave you with this really powerful, I have it in my, hi honey. This is Ty. Ty, say hi to everybody. Hi. Okay, sweetie, I know. All right, we're almost done. Almost done, baby. Go play with your toys. You have a bunch of toys and other dogs in the house. Yes. Okay, honey. Okay. Oh, good boy. All right, sit. I have this great affirmation, or that say it, you feel it every day, mantra even. All right, say it and feel it. I have this in my journal, and I say it every time I journal, and I see it, and sometimes even throughout the day, I'll stop and just say it, feel it, know it. Your divine birthright is to be abundant, but I am abundant in all areas of my life. And this resonates and is accepted with my soul. All right. I am abundant in all areas of my life. And this resonates and is accepted within my soul. All right. See, I wrote that out. And you see how I wrote I am? I am is very powerful. I am is a powerful mantra. Just sit with I am. Say I am. Hum it. Sing it. Watch how your energy feels. And anything you put after I am abundant. I am grateful. I am an instrument of peace. Powerful mantras. Choose your own. You know, they're very much specific towards you. You customize them, so to speak. All right. So I thank you, everyone, for sitting in Sacred Circle with me today. I felt all the loving energies as we sat in the circle, and the sharing that we each have had. Thank you so much. And not just those that are present now, but those that will be present later on. You're going to feel everyone's energy. Okay? So I hope you walk away with some healing and a lot of balance. Stay balanced. And next Tuesday, I'll be back on 1 p.m. Next Tuesday is St. Patrick's Day, so be sure to wear your green. All right, everyone, have a beautiful week. Thank you all so much. Many blessings. Namaste.